Today, we introduce Collective Apex, where passion meets purpose, skill meets discipline, and every player has the opportunity to rise. This isn't just about winning matches, it's about building champions in life. Welcome to Collective Conversations.
Welcome, y'all. I'm Don, of course. This is Dalen, but DayDay is what we're going to call him. He's actually part of our panel now as well. And we're going to be talking a lot about the Summit Youth Media Lab, which we have running as far as with the broadcast of the show, but also the esports part of this as well through media. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. We got a spokesman, our leader of that group, which is Mike Searcy here. So we got him as a guest, actually on the show that he kind of hosts. It's kind of crazy, but the thing is, a lot of times, we talk about AAU basketball, AAU volleyball, different things like that. AAU when it's sports related, but now I think just sitting down and thinking about the landscape of everything, and also going to some of these college visits. There's also scholarships for esports, and I think while some of it may start out recreational, getting competitive, nature, and then see if maybe scholarships can be made out of this, and I think it'd be a great thing and another avenue for someone to kind of get into as well. So when we start out, we just want to start out and ask you, Mike, what is Collective Apex?
Well, it would be the esports team / organization for the Summit Collective. It would be
Stop. I'm going to stop not use that. Sorry. So we're going to cut that, and we're going to go back to when I just asked you, what is Collective Apex? All right. Shoot. Okay, Mike. Tell us a little bit about what is Collective Apex.
So Collective Apex is going to be the esports team for the nonprofit, the Summit Collective. So it'll be a community team in a sense that does have like a recreational and competitive aspect, but a place, a safe environment for individuals to explore their gaming passions and develop certain skills that could go into them potentially getting scholarships or things down the line.
Now, tell me real quick, DayDay, you can go next. Safe competition, right? Because I think, you are working on like levels for ages, right? Different age groups with maturity level, basically one of those things being. Just real quick, DayDay, not to put you on the spot, because you're not a big gamer, or you are?
I play games sometimes, but I'm not like a huge gamer. Like I just play every once in a while.
Right. Do you have friends that are pretty big gamers?
I guess I have some friends that do like to try to do little game streams and stuff like that.
Right. But out of something, and that's what I was going to ask you personally. You're here as part of the Summit Youth Media Lab, and definitely on the production side of this show, right? So tell me a little bit about the friendships game, because of course you don't, like I say, you might not play a lot, but other people do. Is that what they get out of some of the gaming? From what you think, I'm gonna hear what your perspective is.
Yeah, because it's like basically like spending time just at different locations. Yeah, not even that, you could just it's just online. It builds friendships, it builds trust, it teaches you how to work together, it builds teamwork too. It's a lot of things that games can show you what to do with each other.
Good. And you all, Mike, I know you've been working with a group of gentlemen, right? Definitely gonna get some ladies involved as well. Tell me a little bit about the mission. We talk about that?
Okay. Yeah. So the mission that they came up with is to build teamwork, build gaming skills, and then just add on to the lifestyle of gaming for those individuals, if you will. Which I'd like to add real quick. I will say, just so I make sure that it's said. He already said I'm kind of working with a group of individuals, but I am the spokesperson right now. I had nothing to do with any of the planning or anything like that. All the things related to the planning are all their ideas, things that they did.
Other than this big part, when you say that, because Collective Apex also is about coaching too, right? So tell me a little bit about that, because they actually wasn't playing the games per se right then. They were actually creating this, which is the esports team from the ground up. So tell me a little bit about the coaching or definitely the guiding you used in order to help them find this goal.
Yeah. So on my side and them planning, on my side, I really just guided them into like the things that needed on the structural aspect, because we got to think about the nonprofit from our side.
Right.
On their side, they're not necessarily thinking about those things.
Right.
So just making sure that first and foremost, we structure it in a way that it does have that educational element. It does have those, like it has a certain progression to it. On the coaching side, we haven't talked about outright coaches and things like that, but we've talked about the skills that they need to be able to have to be in that position. And certain things like first, like leadership skills of some quality. And then, of course, they need to be a gamer to a certain extent to it. They definitely feel that if you are not a gamer, you might struggle to be in that position of coach, just because you might not know the specific skills that need to be improved.
Right. So tell me a little bit about definitely the communication, because that's a lot of what we're building as well with the Collective Apex, right? Is some of the communication, accountability, and also sportsmanship. As far as now, we're not talking so much about gaming yet, but also the planning of it, right? It's one of those things. Real quick, DayDay. Yeah, we did the same thing, right? When it came to definitely building the media part of the the podcast, right? A lot of the communication. Tell me a little bit about that from your perspective, as far as that goes. Now, how did it go? Like because you've already been in production with a few podcasts, but you just haven't put it out yet. But you're in the process of doing it. Tell me a little bit about that process.
I communicated with the crew, but I went to see and check on the projects they were talking about with the esports, and it was telling me the information about the games and what skills you need for each game and how you have to play different for each game. And all games ain't just fun. Some games is strategy, some games is mystery. Yeah,
and that's good. I think when you come to, but definitely having that sportsmanship though, right, is a big thing as well. I mean, and once you get that, then you start to learn how to definitely it transforms the whole room when it comes to that, or the whole group, because of definitely understanding that we have to respect others. I mean, that's a big thing as well.
Because if you show that sportsmanship, now show people that you don't respect and you don't have good self
respect. And
respect,
right. And that's the thing. I mean, respecting others, self-respect, it kind of goes the same way. You're exactly right. A little bit about when you talk about, and then let's get into this section of the vision of the organization, right? And when we speak about this, we're kind of talking about the safe environment where youth can definitely explore their passion of gaming and develop their esports skills well as life skills. So it's still entering some of those things in. I mean, and like I said before, and I'm just gonna tell you, DayDay, you being around past month and a half, it's kind of like deja vu a little bit, because I mean, we've done this before, not in this same realm, right? But we've done this before as far as mixing, real life work things, right, or skills with real life skills, in order, to try to mature. Definitely going to be more mature. I mean, you remind me of someone that I'm very close to now. You remind me of, just because of on the maturity level and learning, right, and learning to be respectful, right, as well. I mean, because think about when people see you, and see you in this manner. Sometimes it's like you're a voice for definitely the youth in this way. I mean, that doesn't mean to try to put pressure on you, but it's also to say, listen, I mean, you can be heard as well. And that's one of the things it talks about, because sometimes, this, I mean, unfortunately, about bullying, right? And this comes online. Is that, I mean, have you heard that about, being in gaming, people getting bullied online?
I've heard a little bit of it. It's mainly like online competitive games, like first person shooter games. I've heard a lot about it, about some people getting mad about certain things and they take it to a certain extent and turn it to bullying. over
see.
a video game.
See,
And a lot of it happens over just accounts and people's stuff being taken. But it's all part of the game. You have to learn that never get mad over a game because what you think is joking and playing could lead to bullying.
right. Tell me this. Definitely something that, and Mike, I want you to kind of expand on this. Toxic gaming. Stop, don't answer. Diana, grab one of them out of the front end. Grab one of them, no matter which one. Please. I want the doors open, which I don't even know why the doors open. I need to close that door. That would help. Yeah, just tell them keep it down. I didn't know the door was open, but keep it down out there a little bit, please. Jay.
Do you need them for anything?
No, I just need to tell them, hey, they just gotta keep it down a little bit. And I know the door was open. It probably, if that door was open, we probably wouldn't have heard it. It just didn't want to get in the background of this, that's all. Thank you. So remember at 13, now you're starting to look at 13. These are some things we gotta, okay? I gotta go back a little bit, so I know it'd go a little long. Okay, so we were on toxic gaming. Let's ask it again, and then we go from there. So Mike, tell me a little bit, and DayDay, tell me a little bit about what, if you know, DayDay, if you don't, I'll let Mike talk about toxic gaming. A little bit about it. You know a little bit about it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say I do in a way, because on my side, I wouldn't consider myself like a gamer, but I do play the game with like my cousins and my uncle that he like to hop on there with us. And I mean, at times being on there, like some individuals definitely can get extremely toxic, especially like, I mean, it's kind of like the real world. I'd say it's based upon the person. Like some individuals, like for example, like a basketball game, right? An individual might get the cussing or yelling or something like that on an actual basketball court because they ain't getting the ball, or being a ball hog or something like that. Same thing can happen right there on the game. Some individuals don't, when things don't go their way, or like if we know individuals that are not good losers in real life, a lot of the times those things translate over where things become a little bit more toxic, and it has that same essence as like the internet. Everybody is a little bit more bold on the internet because a lot of their information is not being exposed.
Right. And I think, and I want you to speak too, DayDay. I think a lot of that, we can start to learn from. Mm-hmm. If we kind of create an environment where that's not happening at Kollective Apex, right? Then it would help, I think, a lot. Because you don't want to. That's the thing about it. We want to build people up, not destroy them down. And I get it. I mean, like I said before, I know what trash talk is. What do you call it? Trash talk? Is that what y'all call it?
Yeah.
Right. But a lot of times, I mean, it kind of gets personal.
Yeah, and it shows how unrespectful you are, and you really need to have online respect.
Right. You're right. I mean, that's one of the things. And that's, to me, like I said before, and having that online respect is a big thing. So you can teach both at the same time in Kollective Apex and do this because, like I said before, a lot of people like the game. I know you're not, which is surprising. I thought you would be, because you do, well, maybe get some of your verse in anime a little, but then again, you don't. So you're more of a sporty type person, right? Like physical, outdoorsy type thing for that. And that's good. And I think, a lot of times, this is, but see, while, Apex, and you're not trying to join it, but while Apex isn't for you, it could definitely be for somebody who's not like that, who doesn't get out a lot, or, just doesn't really like sports. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the things I think that Mike, they're working on, they're not all sport based at all, right? I mean,
they have a very diverse set of games and things that they're planning out to play, just so they can kind of cater to different age groups that be involved. So
right,
it's very broad,
and that's a good thing, I think. In a way, because once you have that, then you be able to, kind of grow from that as well. A little bit about, so we're talking from the ground up now. Came up with a name, right? the Summer Collective Apex, right? Came up with the actual, Raven. If that mean, because I'm not a bird person, but I mean that's one of the things, they really stuck in it. You can see, yeah, you can see it, up there. The man, you can see it there about the Raven. Just some of the things, that it spoke about. And that's, to me, I think it's a lot of times, we think and you want to get a good name, right? And you want to get a good background or something as well. And that's what we were teaching actually earlier when we were speaking about even getting a name, right? And I didn't know. I mean, to me, I'm just being, full disclosure. I'm not thinking of Raven as being anything I'm thinking kind of a little bit negative, but really it doesn't. I mean, it's highly intelligent and strategic, right? It speaks about, symbolizes wisdom, adaptability, and problem solving, which, I mean, that's great. I mean, I think it is.
Right in the game.
That goes right into gaming. And like I said before, this is, really, the team pushing for these things, right? We went back and forth on some colors or whatever, but then we end up settling with 4 colors. This is just the color we have because it kind of fits with the summer back moniker, but that doesn't mean that's the only color. We have like 3 or 4 other alternate colors as well. We kind of made it for that. So it kind of works well, definitely when it comes to that as well. And but really we want to represent teamwork, represent communication as well. And, I think one of the things, I'm not a bird person, but, from, just looking up some facts about them, they work real good together, Ravens. And I just wouldn't think, that would be the case. So it's a learning process for myself as well. I don't know about Mike as well, but DayDay, you too. I mean, what do you think about some of the things? Because I know you, because kind of when we're here working, we're kind of separated. Only when y'all, kind of join up in the game room sometimes. But tell me about, were you surprised to hear about some of the developments they had on the esports side when you went out there and kind of talked to them?
I wasn't exactly surprised. I was a little bit like interested in the project they would show me about the games. So I just really just listened and stuff, and I learned about everything that they really have to show me. And and they have a lot of games in there that they can play, a lot of stuff that can build certain skills and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of everything.
So Mike, let's just switch into this now and talk a little bit about team structure, right? Mm-hmm. They came up with maybe what's called a junior team and a senior team. Now that's not grade, that's age, kind of age based.
So
right?
What they came up with was, I believe on the end they ended up with 3 teams that they agreed that they would have. Okay. The first one would go from 11 to 15 is what they agreed on, and then which would be the junior team. Right. And then the senior team would be 16 and up. And they did this for a few different reasons. One was to make sure whichever group you're in, you're playing age appropriate things and stuff like that. And to make sure that they're finding the skills within the specific age groups, keeping it like that too, right? So like something that he talked about that I really did like, they said that they were going to base where a person was at, which team they were on, off of age and skill, which I didn't say the third team. The third team was outright just a Minecraft team because a whole lot of people liked Minecraft.
Right.
But they said that they would spread the teams up between the junior and senior team based upon skill and age. They would do this because, of course, sometimes you have individuals whose skill level was higher than the rest, but they still took into account the skills that needed to be developed. So they kind of said that even if an individual was competing or producing at a higher skill level than the individuals in their age group, they would still stay on that team for some time to foster those leadership skills and those skills of like, they said public speaking skills and things like that, because they'd be having to almost play like a coaching role in the instance for that time, right? Yes, it would be helping the individuals that they're coaching, but they're developing those skills within themselves too. Yeah. Then they also took into account that like the different teams, like the different dynamics that they would have within each other, being that the junior team would mostly be more recreational and wouldn't have as much of a competitive aspect inside of the team, whereas the senior team would try to venture out a little bit more, be a little bit more competitive. The junior team would be developing those skills and things needed to pass them on to the senior team whenever they get of age to compete and things like that.
Something you may not know. So tell me this, like I said, that's good. I mean, like I said, I think those things are excellent. Tell me a little bit about, the development of these things. Maybe you don't know yet. I mean, because we're still in the stages, but we definitely want to roll it out. Mm-hmm. Tell me about, but the junior team definitely would form probably before the senior team would form. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you say? I mean,
I believe so.
And so even though it's age, because I want to make sure everybody just like the mixing of ages, and definitely has the supervision on the two different age groups as well. There's a big discrepancy in those age groups as well. We even talked yesterday a lot about the ones that have aged out of 18 and still meaning having something for them as well, but just not with the other. I mean, because safety, number one, I mean, we're talking about long line safety, but we got other, safety as well as where we, in the presence as well. And, one of the things to talk about with the junior team is the max of 10. Not holding fast to, those things, but could be, it's one of those things as well. So definitely having that in mind, definitely understanding that, but the learning part of it as well. This is where we kind of went back and forth about coaching. I mean, it was one of those things. It's like, just like today, we were kind of, blessed with someone coming in to help us even with lighting, and my thing is, for me, it's like, we have a lot to learn. We still do. I mean, we still have a lot to learn. We always, but I, kind of showed her where we went, where we came from. You seen a little bit, I seen your eyes looking, because it was different, right? I mean, it was like, a little room. But, I think, with the more, and I think as anything, if you're trying to get better at something, you'll keep on searching for better remedies or better, strategies in order to deal with that. It's going to be the same thing when it comes to the gaming, and also, keep on top of it. It's something they can keep on top of it, but it's something to create something and, and kind of see it into fruition as well. Definitely did this again a couple of years ago, kind of went into this as well. Just, definitely revamped it a lot. And now you come to this, I mean, a smooth logo to me, smooth logo, they wanted birds, started with a dodo bird. I mean, and that's the thing. And I know, and I get it. I mean, a lot, sometimes we go on the personality. Like I said, I'm not a bird person, so I don't know a lot about them. But I think, this one, this what we, kind of settled on was a key thing in the spearheading this. And I think the team structure is another, part that needs to be as well. And that's, definitely something that, we're getting at. Something I want to, kind of go over real quick is when we talk, and we haven't really delved into this, but I'll talk to you a little bit about where you're going to go to mold this team as well. I mean, I know putting you on the spot, but where you're going to go with it. I mean, of course, me and you, but with me being kind of out of the gaming realm, mm-hmm. and you were in the gaming realm more, so just how we're going to kind of, when I talk about promotional system, kind of about their roles in their positions. I think one of the things we talked about yesterday a lot was competition, and kind of, while I know they have it, not making it the mainstay, right. In this as well. Because like I said before, I mean, even when we talk about recruiting and basketball and different things like that, every school is looking for something different. Mm-hmm. I mean, you would think they would look for the best player, but sometimes if the best player, we got a big DayDay to get over here every time to do that. And I'm not saying it like that, but if they ask me a question, well, is DayDay, I mean, is he, a hard worker, or, I'm not going to down him, but I'm going to say, sometimes he needs a little push, right? Not to down him, but because you got to think, I'm not only speaking for DayDay, I could speak for 10 other people too. And if I just say or lie or say, oh man, he comes to practice all the time and stuff like that, and we don't know he don't. There's a I think a better way to deal with that. And like I said, for not so much down, but it's not me. He has to be the one that wants to be dedicated as well, because this is the product that they're getting. It's not about me. It's not about the collective. It's about DayDay when it comes to him, going for these scholarships and things like that. Me supporting him, don't get me wrong. Like I said, if he wants to say, hey, rep, Collective Apex, hey, so be it. I like that. But It's about him, and he has to, garner some of these things as well. And that's why I said about the promotion system, about things like that, which we haven't really got into a lot. And maybe that's something we will get into here a little later. But that's, something that I was just, kind of mentioning just real quick, about this promotion system. But ours more now would be more of just a develop system,
Right.
more than anything.
Right.
Is that, to how to develop,
And adding to kind of what you just said, we kind of discussed at a time where it was like the more like, okay, it's for the nonprofit, we won't be able to accommodate every single person who might want to do it, because we got limited supplies right now, but it is still a community thing. And we kind of discussed where it's like the more competitive things get, the less community it tends to get at times. So they made sure that they are writing the rules and things up in a way where they do not leave that community aspect behind.
Right. That's why I think, the discipline, the teamwork, the communication, pushing those things, and it's improving, right? Improving on it. I think a lot of times, I mean, tell me this, you've been on there a few times, right? Are you improving at podcasts?
Yeah, definitely.
And a lot of it, is even you kind of, looking at, I can't wait till yours comes out because it's all, we get it chopped up and ready. But you had some, guidance in it, but a lot of it, you and, a couple of your other counterparts kind of dove in there and did a lot of it as well, which is good as well. I just think, to me, you building that strong foundation is a big thing. And that's, a lot of what it takes. Is building that foundation as well. And I think, when we have, the gamers in there, the people that definitely, just talking to them and sitting there talking is going to be bigger when you get that and so they can learn some of the things as well. The coach is the thing we, kind of lack right now. But, it's one of those things that all we have to do, all we do is ask. And then if they say no, they say no. But I think it's starting with a good sound coach is a big way to go, but definitely having some eager people who are willing to, come in here and dive in and do some of this as well. I think it's a lot of it too. DayDay, just getting back on you real quick when you said about, improving on these things, right? Tell me a little bit about just because you like you said, you're not a big gamer. I thought all, a lot of, the other youth was big gamers. But, were you in there when I was talking about the top selling video games? You were in there that day when I was talking about some of the top selling video games in history, right? And I want to go off a little bit and talk about this. And I told you the first one was Minecraft. Remember I told you that? Mm-hmm. What was the second you remember I told you
Was it
Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah, I don't remember a lot about games.
Right. So, which is a good thing because that was one of the things we kind of battled with, and we just sat down. I'd love to sit down with some guys and kind of talk about it as well. I think those are things that I think of. That might not be things that you think of as well. With this, it's just like I said before. They kind of came. We had a set of games. Do you have some of the games?
Some of the games. So. First, I'll say that they would have different games for like the different age groups, depending on like maybe the complexity or the skill. You talked about like the development and progression. Right. Some games are better for developing those skills to get into that advanced ones. So all of these games aren't universal for all of the teams.
Good.
But games that they said they have right now would be Fortnite, Valorant, Pavlov, Counter-Strike Go, Super Smash Brothers, and Minecraft.
Right. So, those are totally kind of, I think maybe one is like the other ones, but, those are kind of some of the things that, when we were, planning on doing this before, we didn't have those games.
Right? I do think there'd be more than that, but.
And I think, just, like that, having a good menu of, steady menu of those type of games would be good. Like I said, I've never played any of them, but that I used to be a big gamer a long time ago, but I don't know, just time and things like that. Just kind of I just got mesmerized by the computer. If you really want to know the truth, so that was one of the things about how a computer works. But Now it's just one of those things. And like, so tell me this, Day. We got you on here, DayDay. Sorry, I mean we got you on here. Tell me a little bit about, this is more of a basketball thing, but it doesn't mean more of a sports thing. But this goes to esports. Learning how to stay calm under pressure. Tell me a little bit about that.
Learning how to stay calm under pressure is really just about like you having to just having self-control and learn how to stay calm under pressure could really do a really, really good thing, or it can be a really, really bad thing, depending on what the subject is. You gotta just be calm and stuff.
Yeah, but here's the thing. So I'll just put you on the spot, like what we're doing now. At first, now you did a great job at first. Were you calm though? I mean, think about it. This is your third time being on. Well, actually, fourth times yours. But you kind of calm. Well, how was it?
I mean, at first I was like a little nervous, and then as it started to go on, you feel more and more relieved, and you get into like the mode.
But I mean, let's get back to it. Have you had a future in watching? A past watching podcasts and things.
Somewhat. It isn't like I watch like boxing podcasts and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, that's good too. I think a lot of times, tell me a little bit. We talked a little bit about communication, but about the teamwork now. I want to know a little bit about this teamwork. Tell me about building of it, because I mean, you have several friends. I mean, I know I watch you have several friends, right? But also, one of the things I heard them say to you is, oh, DayDay, he can do that. And when it comes to some of the production type things about cutting things, apart and, getting it ready, how does that make you feel when they say the teammates say they can kind of rely on you?
I mean, it makes me feel like, they're really like depending on me. But then at the same time, like I want them to also feel like they should be able to do it too. Like at the same time, like we should all be on the same level.
How does that work though? I mean, because this is what teamwork's about.
You have to probably just like teach it to them, explain it to them, make sure that they understand it. So then we can work as a team. When you work as a team, it'll be faster. No matter what you do, working as a team will always be faster than working by yourself.
Right, because tell me just real quick and we'll move on but for you, are you a better individual player at things or a better team player at things?
Team player, because you can't do most things by yourself. Like, let's say, for example, like a basketball game, and you just wanted the ball every time. Eventually, you're going to get tired on the court, and you're going to want some help. You're going to be mad if you don't get help. So you're going to obviously want some teammates to help you score some points, help you on defense, because you can't play defense against 5 other people by yourself.
Right. So a lot of what we're talking about now. Have you played multiplayer games like team? Is that kind of what he's saying too?
Oh, absolutely. Especially when it's like a low amount of people, like a 2-player game or a 3-player game or something like that. 1 weak link, your whole team could be shot. So yeah, I mean, skills definitely come out a lot when it comes to gaming. I think it's one of those activities not outside of like physical things. It's one of those activities that really more stimulating, because like communication, as you said, is very big. If you can't talk with your teammate, like things might not go your way, or y'all might not be on the same wavelength, just like in the workplace.
Right.
If y'all don't actually do the things that y'all say are going to do when y'all are communicating, things might get out of whack, just like in the workplace. If you're not reacting quickly enough for things, it might not go your way, just like in the workplace. Like there are many things that you can equate from there, and many skills that they say are bettered from doing things such as gaming, such as like an individual's reaction time or their hand-eye coordination and things like that are all said to be improved with something like that.
Right. So, and the only reason why I'm relating to DayDay is because you like I said, you're a sports person, right? But when you talk about, now we're going to talk a little bit about character and that's what Mike was alluding to about character. Tell me a little about great players that you know. Now it might not be locally, but there's great players that you know. What gravitates you toward liking these players? Just real quick, as far as any baseball, football, basketball, any kind of soccer, whatever.
When it comes to like liking players, I don't just go from like what you just see. I go from how people act, the personality, how they play the game, how they respect the game, and their point of view of the game.
Yeah.
Like it could be like video game or sports, either or. Because when I do decide to play a game, I don't just want to play a game with somebody who's going to get mad or over this, over that, over any little thing. You can play somebody that's like calm, somebody who has good positive energy, so that way they don't put bad energy on you too.
I mean, a lot of times when we talk about staying respectful, you were talking about, and then also, sometimes even encouraging teammates. NBA, you were talking about, we won't get into that, but because I think you were the one who was talking about, who your favorite player was. You don't have to mention it in NBA, but, we went back and forth about that as well. But do you see, just not naming them, but do you see like some room for improvement in that player in those things that you named?
Yes.
Which then comes down to, and I know we're talking about the gaming, and we'll get right back on it, which makes me think though, but then what makes you like him if he doesn't display these characteristics?
You can like a character that doesn't display all of them, but because some people can't have all characteristics.
Right.
But there can be a few characteristics that stand out, and it can make you, like the person makes you stand out like an outlaw from the other players.
Right.
It's different.
But so the reason why I brought that up is a segue to this about learning about your losses, and that's a part of character, being a character and building character as well. Learning from your losses, learning from your mistakes, basically. What I'm saying as well. But you do have to show humility when you win. But that's sometimes not the way. How are they gonna know if you don't brag about it and post about it?
Yeah.
Right? It's one of those things. You seem to come off like that, demeanor. If the team won, you won.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's you can't teach that though. Sometimes it's embedded in you to feel that way. Tell me this though, and we know character matters, and it does matter more than your rank. And I think that's kind of the difference when I talk about collective apex. I get it. I mean, like I said before, building towards something, but it doesn't always have to be like a rank or anything like that. It can also be just like it's a camaraderie. The sportsmanship, showing that and building in that way. I think this is what this, definitely Apex would be. It's one of those things. I mean, I'm not saying to deter people from, like I said before, we want people to get scholarships, gain scholarships, if that's the case in that, or give them another avenue. But I mean, if that's the case, you still have to learn and have good character as well. And I think that, can go hand in hand with both of the things we're talking about as well. And that's, something that, we have to kind of focus on more as well. The other part, real quick, when we're speaking about this, Mike and DayDay, is leadership, right? Leadership as well. It's a lot of positive communication when it comes to leadership as well. But we have to sometimes, and it's going to happen. Tell me this. I don't want to name, but is there a leader of your group?
I believe so. And I would say not because this individual wasn't there in the beginning that I would say is the leader. But I would say just because of the input that they give, the willingness to speak up, the willingness to say when they dislike a suggestion that was made without tearing the person who made the suggestion down, the way that they take note of all the things that's happening inside of a certain meeting. I would say so. But all of it, nobody in the group outright picked a leader or anything like that, but just from the tasks that are being accomplished and the things that are being done, I think the person made themselves that.
See, that's great. I mean, leading by example, right?
Yeah.
Is one of those things as well. And that's what it takes sometimes as well. When we think Now, and then real quick, because I had to jump in because I don't know, because he plays like shooter games too. You've played it before, right? But could you communicate with your people?
Yeah, you get like little headsets
Right.
with the little microphone on it and stuff.
I-
You could speak to people and all that on you can do it on Fortnite games.
Right. So you played it. I
stuff
mean,
like that.
how did you like that though when you were kind of conversing with other people?
It was like kind of like you kind of think about it at first. You're like, oh wait, should I like talk or should I like not talk? It's like you think about it sometimes. You're like I can just put it on mute and just play the game, blah blah blah. Or I could try to talk to the people online. Sometimes you have to make the choice, and sometimes the choice isn't as easy as you think. Because somebody could be talking trash online about you, and you could either talk or you could just not talk. And sometimes I'll just be like, yeah, it's not talk.
See, and I don't know if Mike knows this or not. It's somebody that he knows, very well. It may pick him up, may not say a word. And then if you went inside that house and heard him, you like, who is that person? And this, I'm telling you, it's what I mean. But I do believe that, I'm not saying talk a trash part, but I do believe the communication with others is needed. I mean, for your social, definitely to gain and to definitely build your social skills. I do believe that, but I mean, it's just very amazing. Like I said, for rarely ever says anything, but then online, it's like a totally different person. And that's the thing. I mean, it's all in fun. I would say, really didn't go in his room to hear him, but other than because I could hear him outside the room, didn't have to. But like I said, you probably wouldn't hear this person say about 5 words. And this is not being, mean or not being disrespectful. It's just the way it is. And that's the thing. So you have to definitely, understand that. But, and that's kind of wrapping up a little bit. I mean, what we've been talking about, I think it's going to be, it's good. I really believe that. Lastly, though, I would like to talk about esports kind of building life skills. Let's get it right. Let's get back into the realm of what we're talking about. And we talked about a lot about the communication, the leadership, the handling pressure, the decision making, right? And time management as well. I think, while we didn't get into that, that's one of the things I think that kind of, is that kind of something that comes in your household as far as game? Y'all have a gaming system at home?
Yeah.
But is it limited?
I guess you could say it's limited. Because when you have so many siblings and stuff, and certain ones want to play the game, you just let them play the game. Because they're not going to be out for too long.
What about during school, though? What's the rule?
During school, all right. The rules is probably about, nobody's on the game after, probably about, 7.
Really? Really?
Because you want to get your sleep for school and stuff. You don't want just.
Now this is
some kids will stay up.
But this is real time though. I'm talking you going in the hood still. So that's good though. I think so. You learn that right as well because I think a lot of that is people definitely. I think they can indulge a little bit too much and then start missing work or not wanting to get up for school.
Yeah, it also teaches you how to manage your time. Like this person will get 45 minutes, other person will get 45 minutes.
So you got a lot of brothers, right? So that's what kind of how it is. So you got to kind of be a team player, right? So and now I think, when you say that, a lot of times that relates to school, right? That relates to, definitely home and now work, right? It's the same way in college as well. It relates to those things as well. So I think it is good for the realm of, definitely helping when it comes to that as well and learning. From the things that we're talking about as well with the esports and building, right? The life skills as well. Have you seen, because I know you do a lot of life skills, but I do too, right? But have you seen you being able to kind of?
Certain places where things can be intertwined. So like y'all kind of said, time management, like this task needs to be done, a task that I know that can be completed, in the planning process, like they got to manage their time while planning. They get breaks and things like that for lunches, like got to manage that. Also like budgeting aspects, because we got to talk about what certain costs may come in or stuff like that. Their writing skills and things like that, because we've already discussed, like we got to sign up for grants and things like that to try to get some funding. We might have fundraisers and things like that
Right.
that might have funding that like their planning skills for certain, which ain't necessarily there, but planning skills.
Right.
And I will say utilizing their skills, utilizing their own things that they're good at. Because something that I found while they were working in teams and all that and their planning, like they naturally gave each other their time to shine. Like somebody was good at research. Some individuals had a lot of knowledge about games. Some individuals was good at being a leader, and they naturally got into their role, and they did whatever their role was with.
100%. I think I like that, to finish up just a little bit, when it comes to, Apex, Collective Apex, we're not only trying to build, and better gamers, but also, better teammates, right? Stronger leaders, because I think it's what it takes. I think, and young people is where it's at, and we have to prepare them, right? For both competition and in life. I think that's, that's our duty to do that for you. Right. And it doesn't have to always be screamed at you, or it doesn't have to always be through a sport like basketball or baseball. I'm not saying anything wrong with football. It doesn't have to be that way. So I think doing that way as well. A lot of, what we're talking about here with the Collective Apex, we're going to, like I said before, we're going to start rolling it out. So people can register. And like I said before, come and check it and see what it's like. We have some computers here at the office, 610 North Eisenhower. I'll be putting an announcement out there. We actually recently moved, which becomes official tomorrow. But it's a lot of those things, and we do practice dates and things of that nature. So we're just still trying to. We're like I said, we're on the ground, but they're moving, and I want them to see if they don't see any progress in what they're doing. They're like, what are we doing this for? I mean, like really. But I mean, once an idea is put on paper, and then we start to put it to action. Then you start to, get a little hungry, see a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, to getting some things going on. And I think that's, a great thing as well. I want to thank Mike, and I want to thank DayDay. Daylan for sitting here. And like I said, some of your background with not being a quote unquote heavy gamer, just sitting down and, kind of going over those things with us. But I think being well versed, and we talked about that when we started, being well versed in a lot of different things is the key. And I think it matters. So, I mean, this is going to, wrap up Collective Conversation for this week. We do have, a couple things coming up. We definitely have a couple cookouts coming up. Definitely on Wilbraham first, be on Saturday, July 18th, and also Beckley West Apartments on July 19th. Both of them are 2 to 4. Come out. We have some things, also some literature to hand out with a couple other organizations as well who want to help us celebrate the summer as well. And I think it'll be a great thing as well. So just come out, bring your best before, we'll have some fun, kind of fellowship for a few hours, and we're going to be doing a couple more as well. The 26th will be over at Hager Street Apartments, which is right there in Beckley as well. So we have a couple of different ones as well coming up. I got a couple more to announce. We just announced one on August the 3rd, which will be at, we want to cut that.
Cut.
All right. August the 3rd, we'll be also going as well to another location.
Is that right?
All right, we'll cut it again.
Cut.
We will also be April the 3rd. We'll be over, definitely going to East Beckley, at the corner of East Beckley, Antonio Morse, and it'll be a park over there, and we'll definitely, be in the Red Brush as well. So I think it's 2 to 4 as well, and I think a lot of times, we don't want to be amiss. We'll be doing something during the week as well. I think just getting this, TSK pathways definitely out there as well. We've got a couple of extensions of the summit. And this is just one of them, and we're glad this is the opioid prevention and literacy, kind of blended in together. So we're going to try to get out there and stomp this, literacy out, and help people, learn how to read and give them the tools they need, right, in order to help them read. So I look forward to that. I look forward to, seeing some of you all out there as well. And just like I said before, check out our website, summercollective.org, TSK, WestVirginia.org, and check it